In the Kruger Game Reserve, where the savanna breathes heat and life, Thabo, a local guide, walked along a dusty trail near a swamp. The morning sun was just beginning to warm the air, and familiar sounds rang out in the silence. Birdsong, the rustle of grass beneath the hooves of antelope. But suddenly, Thabo froze. A low, almost despairing roar came from far away. He knew these lands like the back of his hand, but he had never heard such a sound before. Grabbing his phone, he headed toward the swamp, and there, among the mud and roots, he saw it, a huge white rhinoceros, who would later be named Kalu. Kalu was in trouble. His front leg was entangled in gnarled roots, and around the wound lay an inflamed, festering abscess, purple and painful. The rhino limped, trying to break free, but each lunge only drove him deeper into the mire. Thabo approached, his heart pounding. He noticed the wound oozing, the skin around it cracking with tension. It was an old injury, perhaps the mark of a poacher's trap. "Brother, hang in there," Thabo whispered, dialing the rangers. "Hurry, he's dying." An hour later, the reserve came alive. Ranger jeeps raced along the trails, raising clouds of dust. Veterinarians, volunteers from a neighboring village, and even a few tourists who happened to be nearby, gathered at the swamp. Kalu lay breathing heavily, his eyes shining with pain and fatigue. The team worked quickly. Someone was unwinding the winch cables, someone was preparing a tranquilizer. Veterinarian Anna, a woman with a firm gaze, examined the wound. "It's serious," she said. "The abscess is deep, but we can save him." First, Kalu was given a mild tranquilizer to keep him from struggling. His massive body, weighing nearly 3 tons, was still shaking with the effort. The volunteers secured the ropes around his torso, careful not to touch the wound. The winch creaked, and the mud squelched as it freed his leg. The crowd held its breath as the rhino finally emerged onto solid ground. But that was only the beginning. Anna and her team began treating the wound. The abscess was horrific. The skin around it was swollen, pus oozed in thick streams, and the smell made everyone wince. The veterinarians worked meticulously, flushing the wound with antiseptic, removing dead tissue. The footage was not for the faint of heart, vivid, almost tangible, with close-ups showing the instruments plunging into the wound, freeing it of infection. Thabo stood nearby, clenching his fists. He knew this rhino was more than just an animal, but a symbol of their lands, their struggle for nature. After an hour of intense work, the wound was cleaned and treated. Kalu received antibiotics, and his eye, no longer cloudy, looked at the people with something resembling gratitude. But the story didn't end there. In the distance, over the hill, a high, almost childish roar was heard. It was Kalu's calf, who had been waiting for his mother all this time. The team helped the rhino to her feet, and limping but confident, Kalu moved toward her baby. The moment of their meeting was like a flash of hope. The calf nuzzled his mother's side, and she, seemingly oblivious to the pain, responded with a gentle nudge. Thabo, watching this, smiled. Later, sitting by the fire in his village, he said, "I simply did what I had to. We are all part of this land here. If a rhino suffers, we suffer with it." A few weeks later, Kalu was spotted again. She was still limping, but her wound was healing, and her cub was running briskly alongside her. The Kruger Nature Reserve breathed its last breath of fresh air, and Kalu's story became legendary, one of pain, resilience, and the strength of those who stand by.